Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Hablar Patata. Do you have any idea what these pictures have to do with German or with our class today? So, since my sketching skills have become worse over the past years, let me quickly explain what these pictures are supposed to be. This over here is supposed to be a fly. This one here is not the mutation of a shit emoji, it's supposed to be a snake. And this one here is a finger in front of two lips that turned out a little bit too big, but you get the idea. But what do these images have to do with German? Exactly! I drew those pictures to illustrate and help you memorize some of the more or less particular sounds that we have in German. So today we will have an Aussprache training, and this word in itself already contains some of the sounds that we will see today. So basically this would mean like pronunciation exercise or pronunciation training. Okay? So let's go. Today we will focus on the pronunciation of the S sounds in German. As in probably many other languages, we can have the same letter with a different pronunciation, and we can have the same pronunciation with a different spelling, depending on the word. I made these three categories for the different S sounds, okay? So for me, the fly represents a soft S or a vibrant S. That would be Z. I have the snake, which for me represents a sharp S. S. And I have the finger and the lips, and for me this represents the sound of sh. So I made up these categories. If you have a different image that will help you to memorize these sounds, feel free to just use a different image. Just make sure that you have the right sound. When we talk about the first category, this is usually the letter that represents this sound, the vibrant S, Z, okay? But to be sure how to pronounce this one, we actually have to know about the position of this letter within the word. And to do this, it's always helpful to think about the different syllables within a word. So syllables, we can define them as a unit of sounds, right? So the first verb, sein, to be, has just one syllable, sein. And the S is at the beginning of this word, right? The second word, singen, to sing, would be singen, has two syllables, and you can see that the S is at the beginning of the word. The third verb here is versagen, which means to fail, and it doesn't start with this S sound, right? But when we analyze the syllables, versagen, we notice that the second syllable, so versagen, the second syllable actually starts with this S. So in this case, we will also pronunciate it as vibrantly, Z, versagen, okay? Then we have der Sohn. Sohn is parents and son, okay? The son. And here we have an example of the same letter, but in this case, it's at the end of the syllable and we will not pronounce it vibrantly, okay? But we have versehen, versehen, and you can see that in this case the second syllable starts with an S, so this S over here will be pronounced like Z. Aus Versehen means by mistake, okay? So I don't know, you accidentally step on someone's foot and you can say, oh sorry, das war aus Versehen. That was without any intention, okay? For the second category we have the sharp S, right? And this sound can be represented by three different ways of writing or spelling, okay? So one of those is S, just the same S as we saw before, but the position will be different, okay? So here we said that the vibrant S, Z, we find it at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable. This S over here, S, the sharp S, we will find it at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable. Not always the total end, it can also be like almost at the end, towards the end of a word. For example, here, okay? So here are some vocabularies that you don't have to learn by heart right now. I just used this to illustrate the pronunciation, but we will go through the translation real quick, okay? So das Ergebnis would be the result. And you can see that the word ends on S. Nis is a common ending for German words. So you will find other words with this ending, okay? And this is a sharp S, das Ergebnis. Okay? We have das Fest, and this could be like a celebration or a party. We have basteln, and as you can see, when I look into the syllabus, I will see that basteln. So the first syllable ends on S, so I will pronounce it as a sharp S. And basteln is to tinker or to do handicrafts, okay? We have der Muskel, and it's the same, Muskel. So the first syllable will end on an S, okay? So it will be a sharp S. The second way of writing or spelling the same sound is the double S that we also already saw, because we already saw the verb wissen, which is to know, right? When we have a double consonant, it will shorten the vowel that comes before the double consonant, okay? So in this case, wissen, okay? Here I have der Sessel, and you can see that we have a combination of the two different sounds, right? The word starts with an S, with a vibrant S, z, and here we have the double S, so a sharp S, s. So this would be der Sessel, okay? And this basically means armchair. And then we have the last, well, particular letter in German, the SZ as we call it. We also saw this before. And it will also be pronounced as S, okay? Here the same phenomenon. We have a vibrant S, Z, and we have the sharp S here, S. So this one here is pronounced like süß. And süß can be sweet or cute. So you can say this about something you can eat that tastes sweet. And you can say this about a person which has a cute character. For example, you can say du bist so süß. Okay? And then we have this one here. This will be the third category. So we will focus on this one here. I have die Straße, and this would be the street, okay? So let's recap. The S, just as a single S, at the end of the word or the syllable will be pronounced as a sharp S. The double S and the SZ will always be pronounced as S, okay? So let's go to the next category. The last category will be the sound of sh. And there are several ways of combining letters where we have to pronounce this way, okay? So the first combination of letters will be SCH, okay? When you see this combination, you know instantly that this is sh. Here I have some examples. Das Schiff, which will be the ship. And I have the verb schlafen, which means to sleep, okay? To sleep. And if you watch the second video, you will know that this is an irregular verb, and you will have to change the vowel for the second and the third person singular. Okay? Ich schlafe, du schläfst, er schläft. Okay? Then we have the second combination, which is S followed by a P. So if you find this combination at the beginning of the word or the syllable, you will pronounce this as sp. So here I have sportlich, which means sporty. I can say, sie ist sehr sportlich. Okay? But it can also be somewhere within the word in a different position. So when we look at the syllables here, anspannen, so 3 syllables, and the second one actually starts with SP, so this will also be pronounced as sp. Anspannen means to tense, for example, the muscle, okay? Then the third combination is S followed by a T. So when you have this combination at the beginning of the word or the beginning of the syllable, you will pronounce this as st. So here I have der Stift, okay, the pen or pencil, I always get confused, okay, der Stift, and here the same thing, we have several syllables, so einsteigen, this would be the second syllable. In this case, we also pronounce this as st. Einsteigen, which means to board or to enter, to hop on, okay? So you can einsteigen in the context of a subway, for example. So here you can see very well, here we have this combination at the end of the word, so this will be pronounced as a sharp S, das Fest. But here it's at the beginning of the syllable or the beginning of the word, so it will be st, der Stift, einsteigen. And the last one, which is a nice word and combines several sounds. So we have this one here, sp, and this one over there, s. So here we have der Spaß. And I can say, ich habe viel Spaß, I'm having a lot of fun. And I can say, ich mache Spaß, I'm just kidding. Be careful with these two verbs because a lot of people, when they have an exam, for example, they confuse these verbs, okay? Ich mache Spaß is, I'm just kidding. Ich habe Spaß or ich hatte Spaß, I'm having fun or I had a lot of fun. At the end of this video, you will find, as usual, the list of the words that we learned today and the pronunciation, and also some words with the letter Z, in German Z, which I didn't include here because it's not that particular, but for many people it's hard to pronounce. So you will find examples there and you can practice this. Okay, so that's all from me today and I wish you a nice day. Ich sage Tschüss und wünsche dir oder euch einen schönen Tag. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Let's go through the phrases. And if you're surprised about my voice, yeah, I got a little cold in between, but that shouldn't do any harm to our pronunciation training today. Okay? So the first sound that we're talking about is Z, the vibrant S. I'm going to start in the left upper corner with the first phrase. Mein Sohn singt im Chor. My son is singing in a choir. Sind Sie sicher? Are you sure? Here it says formell and we can also see the capital letter in Sie. So here we are addressing someone in a polite way. Can be just one person or it can be several people. Sandra sucht saure Sahne. Sandra is looking for sour cream. Entschuldigung or entschuldigen Sie. Das war aus Versehen. Sorry or sorry in a polite way. This was by mistake. Ich sehe eine Serie im Fernsehen. I'm watching a series on TV. Heute scheint die Sonne. Today the sun is shining. Here we have the S that is pronounced as S. Remember, we find this at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable. So I'm going to start again in the left upper corner. The first phrase is Linda ist meine beste Freundin und Tom ist mein bester Freund. So Lina is my best friend for females and Tom is my best friend for males. Muslime fasten im Ramadan. Muslims fast in Ramadan. Massiert seine Beine und seine Füße. He is massaging his legs and his feet. 39 Grad. Heute ist es sehr heiß. 39 degrees. Today it is very hot. Isst du gern Reis? Do you like to eat rice? Ich hasse Lärm. I hate noise. Here we have the sh sound. And this sound is usually represented by the combination of the letters S, C, H, and we pronounce it as well when we find an S followed by a P or a T at the beginning of the word or the syllable. The first phrase is Du schaffst das, which would be like you can do it. Diese Landschaft ist so schön. This landscape is so beautiful. Die Stiefel sind schwarz. The boots are black. Wir bestellen heute Pizza. We order pizza today. Die Kinder spielen Schach. The children play chess. Now let's have a quick look at the letter Z, as it's called in German. And as you can tell, it sounds quite harsh, right? So why is that? In German, we pronounce the Z like a T followed by an S. So that would sound like ts, ts, ts. If you're having a hard time with pronouncing this letter, I recommend you to start with a TS and pronounce them in a separate way. That would sound like this. T, s, t, s, t, s. And then you can step by step start to combine them. T, s, ts, ts, ts. So the first phrase actually contains a word that is quite hard to pronounce. Der Arzt. So picture this word as if you would write it instead of a Z and a T, you would write A-R-T-S-T. That's how we would pronounce this one. Der Arzt. So the first phrase is a phrase that we will probably hear many times in Germany. Der Arzt hat heute leider keine Zeit. Unfortunately, the doctor has no time today. Kann ich mit Karte zahlen? Can I pay by card? The next phrase is also one of the phrases that you will probably hear a lot of times in Germany if you're traveling with Deutsche Bahn. And this one is: Der Zug kommt zu spät. The train arrives too late or has a delay. Ich habe Zahnschmerzen. I have a toothache. Die Katze sitzt neben der Zeitung. The cat is sitting next to the newspaper. Die Seife, the soap. Die Sahne, the cream. Der Saft, the juice. Die Socken, the socks. Die Hose, the pants. Sehen, to see. Sagen, to say. Suchen, to look for or to search. Versuchen, to try. Sonnig, sunny. Süchtig, addicted. Sauer, sour. Langsam, slow. Das Glas, the glass. Das Haus, the house. Der Test, the test or exam. Die Tasse, the mug or cup. Der Fluss, the river. Die Straße, the street. Der Fuß, the foot. Essen, to eat. Lassen, to leave or to let. Hassen, to hate. Careful here, du hast and to hast with one S is not the same. Schließen with a long vowel, to close. And vergessen, to forget. Süß, sweet or cute. Hässlich, ugly. But please don't say this to anybody. Nass, wet. And besser, this would be the comparative of gut. So this would be better in English. Die Schule, the school. Die Schuhe, the shoes. Der Sport, the sport. Der Spaß, the fun or the joke. Der Stuhl, the chair. Der Stau, the traffic jam. Die Tasche, be careful, it's not Tasse, it's Tasche, and this would be a bag. Schlafen, to sleep. Schießen, to shoot. Also in the context of football or soccer, you can shoot the ball, in German den Ball schießen. Sprechen, to speak. Versprechen, to promise. Stehen, to stand. And bestehen, to pass an exam, for example. Schön, beautiful. Sportlich, sporty. Stolz, proud. Scharf, can be sharp, can be hot, can be spicy. And you can even say this when you're talking about a person that you think is really attractive. You can say oder sie ist scharf. But be careful to who you say this, okay? And still would be silent. Die Zeit, the time. Die Zeitung, the newspaper. Die Ärztin, the doctor, female. Der Arzt, the doctor, male. Der Zug, the train. Der Zucker, the sugar, der Zimt, the cinnamon, die Beziehung, the relation or the relationship. Zeigen, to show or demonstrate. Verzeihen, to forgive. Bezahlen or zahlen, to pay. Zählen, to count. Zart. Depending on the context, this could be tender or soft. Salzig, salty. Zu groß, too big. Zu klein, too small. Ziemlich gut, pretty good.